in Parliament, there's only about 10.4% women in Parliament. And considering that the population of the country, 49% is women, and 46% is actually workforce. So you have a good question there. Where are the women? Well, anyway, the horse speaks for itself. That's right. Now, it is interesting that we want to talk about women and politics tonight, because generally, among the Malay women, they are, especially in the rural areas, they are very interested in politics. They are actively involved in politics. But unfortunately, when it comes to election, they may just be foot soldiers. And when it comes to also becoming candidates, we also have the misfortune of being the very small number. So we ask ourselves, why is it that in spite of women working very hard in party politics, in spite of attending all meetings that the party politics may have, because I was formerly in UMNO and we were very active, and in all meetings, most of the people who come to the meeting, or members come to the meeting, are women. And yet, when it comes to the office bearers, the important office bearers is always the men. So, where does the fault lie? Is it the structure of the party itself? Or is it the women? Or is it the men? Or who? If you ask me, one of the things that we have to look at is probably the structure of the party. You will look at the office bearers and you look at how the organizational setup is. So I would think that all parties are about the same, whether it is Pakatan Rakyat or PKR or what you have, DAP or UMNO or even PAS or even MCA or MIC. You will have the divisions, women divisions, the men division, the young men or women divisions. So the structure itself does not help women in any way, because they are already sidelined. Because the more important decision making is made by the main party members, and of course it's the men. So possibly we look at that. So you ask me, why is it the women were never nominated? Why did Radha say, we already proposed how many percent for the women and we are going to get them, but God knows whether we will get them or not. Because they say, oh, are the women qualified? Do you have PhDs? Do you have masters? Do you have what? You want academicians? And when it comes to the men, it's okay. Anyone then can. Yes, Rabi? Yeah. Okay, so it's time to check them. That happens in all the parties. So there we are, the women sitting quietly, looking for all the clever women to come in. Of course, the clever women want to come in. And of course, the women will working say, hey, why are you looking for other people outside the party when you'll be working all the time? So ladies, let's look at ourselves. To me, the most important thing is, do women really want to be in politics? Do they really want to play a role? Do they really understand why they have to be in politics? So, when I was invited here, I was asked, why did you strongly feel that you felt that you wanted to be a parliamentarian and not go to the state? My analogy is very simple. If I am the number 2 in Wanita's ring and am asked to go to the state, so my analogy is like a Professor Madhya, associate professor, being asked to go to a secondary school to teach. The principle is very simple. If you are the number 2 at the national level, you are actually representing the whole nation, the interests of the women for the whole nation, not just a particular state. So it doesn't make sense. So that is the principle that I stood for. The principle is, if you are a woman, that, what can she do? Right? She would just probably cry and leave the place and blah, blah. I said, no, you've got to show a point. The principle is very, very glaring. You do not treat a person or a member party or holding a position. It's not me as a person. It's more of the position in the party, in the women's wing. And why should more women should go for parliamentary seats? They give quite a number to the state seat. It's okay. But in parliament, there are four main things that people do in parliament. That why are the men all scrambling to go to parliament? You tell me. And why is it that women are depressed? It's simply because that's where the laws are made. That's where all the policies are made. So, if women want to defend the rights of women, and if we have issues that we strongly feel for example, environment, why we have haze, and why is it so terribly hot nowadays, who then will fight for it? You can only make laws, you can only make policies in parliament. So women don't just go and form NGOs, walk around, right? Make some demonstrations, oh, we want better environment. Where the law is in parliament. That's why more women need to be in politics, to be in parliament. Next, we have to look at budget control. Why do we have budget representation in parliament? Why? Because the cabinet, the prime minister, the minister of finance has to present the budget for the country. How are we going to spend? How much money is going to be put in education? How much for health? How much for the women ministry? How much for everything that is defense? How many submarines you buy, blah, blah, blah. Right? So, the budget is important. So, women have to have a say. Why is it we can't have cliches at workplaces, for instance? Do the men talk about cliches in parliament? Never, I tell you. But I have grandchildren who are left with maids who's fighting for the cliché in the workplace. Then I can listen, why can't we every department have one? No, nobody's fighting for it. Oh, the women NGOs come again, come on the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. It's no good. You have to be in parliament. More voices in parliament. If half the parliamentarians are women, can you imagine the kind of things that we can do? Can you imagine, Jennifer? What you can say, what you can do, right, Bridget? Thirdly, is in parliament you control executive powers. You check. Oh, that ministry is spending so much money. Where did the money go? Oh, they have not been using their powers as they should be. It's in parliament that you speak. That's where you control. You check and balance. You know, you ask me why parliamentary seat besides the position that was in. And fourthly, then is of course taking care of the constituents in your constituency. That you have to do that. But you don't have to be taking care of, you don't have to go for every wedding there is, every funeral there is. You've got four main things that you have to do as parliamentarians that people don't seem to be pretty aware of. So, that's why parliament is the place that all women must go. And women must know that they have to be in politics. They have to have compassion and be passionate about it. What is it you want to fight for? Peace, discrimination, unity. Why is there such? Why are we talking about race in this country? Why are we not talking about human beings? Why not talking about unity? So I'm sure women feel very strongly about all these issues. And they asked me, when I stood for independent candidate, what were the barriers? Honey, you're asking me barriers. Of course, mine is an exceptional case because it came as a sudden decision towards making a statement. Amazing. Why so fast?
3 minutes.
Are you sure?
3 minutes.
Okay, whatever the barriers were for women, one is, of course, we have to plan for it. In fact, I want to advocate for women. Instead of going to your party, join this party, that party, and ask the man, can I become a candidate? My bizu right there. And he said, no. Why not?
Before Women's Party.
Women's Party, okay. Oh, independent. You can run independent. But a planned independent candidate. Other countries, they can make it, I'm sure can. Okay, I call you 3 minutes. Actually, this is the thing that we have today as women. We are actually a big force, but we do not want to appreciate it. We don't appreciate our big force. Why is it when it's a woman candidate contesting? Why isn't all women vote for the women? Half of the electorate in most constituencies are women. We have to do it because we got to prove a point. And we have to be there. Otherwise, we will not be able to make the change. The change we must. Because I think that we all have to fight for our rights. So my son was driving me here, he was saying, oh, the women don't want to stay at home, they want to go politics. They want to stay at home, they want to go for politics. But actually politics is important. Right now, it's important. It's a right. And it's all right. I always say that if there's no pain, there's no gain. So let's look at ourselves and start looking and telling ourselves why we need to go for politics. Time's up.